Hello and welcome to today's class. To start with, come into your child's pose, big toes together, knees wide, arms above the head, resting the chest down towards the ground. And slowly rise on up to all fours. Let's kick the left leg out behind, flex the foot, right arm reaches out. Take a big inhale, exhale, crunch it underneath you, knee to elbow. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Right hand back down, left foot is going to come underneath, cross your knees, sit your hips as far back as you can for this weird child's pose. Then keeping your knees crossed, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. We're going to step the feet to the outside of the hands, sit your bum down, yogi squat. Hands to the ground, heel toe your feet to hips distance, forward fold. Roll on up, come up to standing. Inhale, hands up, right knee comes in front of you. Right foot over the left knee, sit down into your figure four chair pose. Rise on up, grab hold of the outside of the right foot with the right hand, stretch it out in front of you. Let it go, hands up, then swing it back for your high lunge. Skandasana to the back of the mat, bending into that right knee. Runner's lunge to the top of your mat. Step back, left leg reaches up, wild thing. Left leg comes across the right. Maybe the left hand comes up. Come back to down dog and vinyasa down. Take your own variation and we'll meet in our downward facing dog. So that's our little sequence for today. We'll do that a few more times. Lower down to your knees. This time, right leg goes up behind you, left arm reaches up. Take a big inhale. Exhale, crunch it underneath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Hand comes down. Bring the foot underneath, cross the knees. Child's pose, sit your hips back as much as they can. And then tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Keep your knees crossed. And then bring the feet to the outside of the hands. Sit the hips low for your yogi squat. Hands to the ground, heel toe the feet to hips distance, forward fold. Roll on up through the body. Inhale the hands up. As you do, bring the left knee up. Cross the left foot over the right knee. Chair pose, sit the hips down. Inhale, come back up. Left hand to the outside of the left foot, stretch it out in front of you. Let it go, keep it hovering, hands up. And then bring that foot back for your high lunge. Low side lunge to the back of your mat, bending into that left knee, maybe hands on the ground. Come back to your runner's lunge, top of your mat. Step it back to down dog, keeping your right leg up, and then wild thing. Come back to your down dog, roll through your vinyasa. Take your own variation, and we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Slowly lower the knees, take a quick child's pose. And then rise back on up to all fours. And we will repeat that. So taking the left leg out, right arm out. Take a big inhale. Exhale, crunch it underneath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Hands to the ground, foot crosses underneath. Your cross-legged child's pose. And then rise on up, tuck the toes, downward facing dog with your legs still crossed. And then step to the outside of your hands, lower the hips, yogi squat. Hands to the ground, hips up, heel toe your feet to hips distance, fold forward. Roll on up through the body. Inhale the hands up. As you do, bring the right knee up. Right foot crosses over the left knee, chair pose. Sit the hips down. Inhale up, grab hold of the outer edge of your right foot with your right hand, stretch it in front of you. Leave it up if you can, bring the hands up, and then slowly swing it back, high lunge. Low side lunge to the back of your mat, bending into that right knee. Runner's lunge to the front of the mat. Step to down dog, left leg comes up, step it over for wild thing. Back to your down dog and flow through your vinyasa. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. Lower the knees, come to all fours. Right leg goes out behind, left arm. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, crunch it underneath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Plant the hand. Cross your knees over. Sit your hips back for your child's pose. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog with your legs still crossed. And then step your feet to the outside of your hands. Sit your hips down, yogi squat, maybe hands to heart center. And then hands to the ground, heel toe your feet to hips distance, forward fold. Roll up through the body. Inhale the hands up, left knee comes up. Cross your left foot over your right knee, sit back into your imaginary chair, hands to heart center. Inhale, rise back up, left hand to the left foot, stretch it out in front of you. Let it go, find some balance, and then sweep it behind for your high lunge. Low side lunge to the back of your mat, bending into that left knee. Runner's lunge to the front. Downward facing dog, keep that right leg up, flip it over, wild thing pose. Come back to your down dog. Flow through your last vinyasa. Taking your own variations. Back to down dog. And then we'll lower the knees. Come into your child's pose. Rest everything down. Take a few slow inhales and exhales here. Feel free to repeat this class. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining.